For our next keynote address, it's on talent management program in Indonesia. I'd like to invite Dr. Arthur Leono, and he is the Director of Talent Management Directorate from BRIN, Indonesia.
Okay, thank you very much, moderators. First of all, colleagues from ASEAN's, Japan, and especially from Thailand who have given us the opportunity to meet together here. My name is Arthur, the Director of Talent Management from BRIN. Our colleague mentions the change. It's difficult to change. Yes, it is. What Indonesia did lately in last 2 years or last year at least, as a big change in research and innovation, where we changed all the institutions, right? Previously we know have LIPI, LAPAN, PPPT, and BATAN, but now we don't have that anymore. We have BRIN. We have only one. It's a big change, and now it's still we are on transitions. Everything is basically, if we need to change, we need a big hand and a big power to do it. It has to be forced. At the end of the day, it has to be forced by the system. Now then we will move forward from there. Now I would like to share about the talent management, especially program in Indonesia. Here, this is why where we are dealing with this. Actually, talent program, talent mobility has been conducted since maybe the late President B.J. Habibie. He has this program sending thousands of potential students outside, starting from undergraduates. But at the end of the day, now, maybe only 30% them coming back. Maybe like Dr. Sai mentioned. Why they don't come back? Because they don't have, actually, they don't have any experience, environment, incentive, infrastructures. That's the reason. And also the other things that when they go abroad, basically it's what they want to study. Actually, there's no grand design from the country, but what we need for that. Now, since 2021, President Joko Widodo mentioned we have a task force of national talent management to overcome this problem. We believe that research, especially human HR development, especially in research and innovations, play a critical role. Indonesia has a bonus demography. 2045 is our 100 years of declarations. We're aiming for a big goal. We have many very productive age, which is then, it could be a very golden age, or if we don't manage them, it will flunk. This is useless one. So since 2021, national decree from the president, we have 3 task force, research and innovation task in talents. Under BRIN, we are responsible for creating talent in research and innovation. And second, the talent for cultures and art talents is by the Ministry of Education, Cultures and Research Technology, sport talents by the Ministry of Youth and Sports Affairs. So these 3 ministry has the responsibility to achieve this goal in 2045. Now that's why, since it's gonna be a very long goal, we need a certain sustainability program. Our first speaker mentions the youth has a very big power since political. 2024 in Indonesia, however, will have a presidential elections. We have to make sure that this talent program will always sustain whoever's the president. So therefore, like the movement of the capital from Jakarta to Kalimantan is not only based on national, but it's only based on law. If we want to change it, have to change by the government, also the what do you call that? DPR, the House of Representatives. So it has to be a very high power regulation to enforce it. So therefore, I would like to emphasize first area which we conduct what BRIN did in the supporting of regulations to create what we call environments, what we call infrastructure support. We have to make sure that all the talents, university student, professor, diaspora, Indonesian diaspora in these cases, will come back to Indonesia. Why? They don't have to be forced, but they see the advantage. I do believe, I've been talking to them many times around across the world. They want to come back because they still have nationality, but they need a certain. My expertise is being needed and being used by the government. Now, this area, the supporting regulations, first, the national policy on the law of science and innovations, which then create BRIN. The regulations on grants. We do have research endowment fund, education endowment fund, culture endowment fund, which is here. This budget is being used to support all this kind of program. And also for incentive for researchers. This can directly, last year, we give directly the highest royalty, directly to the research group. They invent something, the industry produce it, the royalty goes directly to the inventors. This is a very good chances. This is very good ecosystem to make researchers want not only based on paper, but what society need, what industry need, product, right? Innovative, and so on. And also the incentive for business. This is a very good question. How can we attract industry at the beginning of a research and research activities? Therefore, we have a super tax deduction until 300% for those industry who like to pitch in research and development. This area give all incentive regarding the research which already has an end product. But now we have the question is, how about the incentive for someone who like to start? Now we have students, right? The only incentive for them is scholarship. By the end of their master or PhD, where do they go? Industry, university, R&D is still big question mark. Yeah, many of us we captured, like I mentioned, they don't want to come back, right? Because they got being captured by other international university. Now BRIN has several program. Together with the Ministry of Education, we have a program not only supporting those students, but those diaspora, those, let's say, PhD holders, those who are still outside there can come back to Indonesia, can do all support Indonesia's development based on their expertise under this talent management, under the basics of open research infrastructure, which I can later on explain to you. So the policy and direction from Indonesia, first, regarding the talent management, is expanding the talent pool and talent acquisitions. The talent pool is not only those who are only, let's say, PhD or let's say on that level, but we are expanding it until the lower or even, let's say, higher education student. We try to capture them firstly at the beginning. Then we shift them into strengthening intervention of talent coaching and facilitation. Later, supported by the essential availability and accessibility of infrastructures for researchers. These play a very, very critical role because researchers need equipment, especially those who work in STEM, right? They need. Indonesia, last time we just bought like what we call cryo-EM, right? We are opening its infrastructure base for collaboration. I think JustTip today's and tomorrow program as creating a research collaboration, this is a very prominent role. Creating this activity as a platform for the talent mobility, which Indonesia currently opening its arm to all for all Asian member state country. Also on the funding and strengthening the area. And the strategy of focus is, we do have 3 talent area. First, the young research talent. We have this target, 2024, we have at least 20% of them are PhD for the mid-career researchers. Who are the researchers area? The researchers in R&D institutions, lecturers. We have a target, currently around 16%. Why we need them to at least have the PhD? For them to get that PhD, and then it's going to be an opening all this kind of collaboration, and also diaspora. This talent, the young research talent, mid-careers, diaspora, we have to attract them. We have to identify them, where they are, what is their expertise. Yeah, this is the very curricular. We are working together, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, identifying who is the prominent professor in Kyodai. Maybe you know Professor Josaphat in Chiba Daigaku. He's Indonesian. He works on satellite. Yeah, he's a prominent there. We are identifying people like them, right? They are going to be the host later on for our program. And how to recruit young talent using assessment and developing. What our first lecturers mentioned, sabbatical internship with industry. This is what we're doing currently. We're opening a program for researchers, not only doing the research in their lab, but to be stationed in industry, doing and solving industry need. And at the end of the day, when they're finished their PhD, they've done their postdoctoral, we retain them by distributing them again to campus around Indonesia. Let's say we want to open in Papua, because they are basically they are ready. They are not green anymore. These researchers, they do have a network. They do know where their friends are. Their society, the common scientific society. So be anywhere they can be. They can achieve their goal. But we have to prepare them from the early stage. So I would like to go on the talent pool here. We have 4 talent pool. First, the student. We have around, starting from lower to higher education, we have around 52 millions Indonesian millennials, very active in gadget and so on. Around them, 150,000 have been a talent in province levels until 122 international level. Who are there? They are the young students, maybe junior high school or even high school, who has an idea. Maybe we know in ASEAN they have a grassroots innovation forum, right? They captures idea very beginning of society from student. These students, under the Ministry of Education, we have a program. So this is the challenges here, because talent management is not only one ministry, it's the whole cabinet. It take part of them. Every ministry pitch a role in this program. The second talent is the researchers, lecturers, and R&D industry. Currently, we have around 320,000 lecturers and researchers in this area. Under 20% are their PhD. We are targeting them because we are hoping to increase level. PhD, the sense of, let's say, maybe those who are already in PhD knows the challenge and everything. Yeah. And we are opening also basically a new program based not PhD not only by course, but by degree. Sorry, by research program. The second talent pool is the overseas diaspora. We identify around 8 million, but around 500 only, very low, works in 5 scientific related area. Amongst them, around 100 or in a prominent role. This is distributed all around the world. We have this organization I4 dealing with this, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is a challenge because these people, these professor, prominent professor around the world, we as a government has to reach them. They don't need the government actually. They can survive themselves. They can get their name by them. The government should reach them, providing them. This is what we did. I'm asking them door to door, actually calling them, meeting them, asking them, "Were you going to be our host?" Because we do have a program for this to capitalize this diaspora. The fourth talent pool is the scholarship alumni. Maybe everybody knows here the LPDP is sending students, many of them, right? Thousands of them, maybe 10,000 currently, but lots of them also, yeah, have a problem, cannot come back because at the beginning, the student give the independency to study whatever they want, but at the end of the day, when they finish their PhD, they are confused which area they're going to come back to Indonesia. Now that will change. Currently, BRIN and now is the supervisor and for the LPDP for endowment fund. We have a regulation here. Student, for going for the LPDP, we select the area of studies. Later on, I will share which areas we are focusing on for Indonesia. The first scheme here, we open There are actually three schemes that BRIN open. First, this is an open research infrastructures. It complies with university, national, international, or even industry. BRIN have the policy open air lab. They are research infrastructures to be utilized not only from BRIN researchers, but also from industry. Why? Because we know that research infrastructure for industry is very expensive, very highly cost. Research can be done only by industry at the highest level, meaning those industry really pitch in R&D. Sadly speaking, amongst us currently from Indonesia, not many industry in that level. Basically, they are manufacturers or even just what you call reverse engineering. Let's say buying from outside, assembling it inside. This is the one. Now, by opening ourselves, by opening our research infrastructure, we're hoping that it's a free and of charge for the collaborators. Industry can come to us. Oh, I need this product development, for example. So we find the researchers in research group. Why we can do this? Why can easily we do this? Because now we're only one organization, only one management under BRIN. Previously, it's very difficult. Some overlapping activity between LIPI, BPPT, LAPAN is very overlapping. I'm coming from the research area of natural product, but my activities also been conducted in the Ministry of Health, BPPT, or others area. Now they're under BRIN. So basically, if there's something happened wrong with the research and innovation in Indonesia, you can blame BRIN, right? This is the roughly speaking. Yeah, there's something wrong, right? BRIN's KPI needs not only paper. Basically, we don't see any paper. What we're hoping is how we can increase private contribution in the research activities. Currently, 80% of the budget is national budget, right? 20% industry, meaning that industry doesn't want to pitch in. Industry is very clever. I mean, they'll pitch in, they'll pay everything, they'll pay high cost if they see that technology is proven and can be economical beneficial. That's the key, that's the economical key. Yeah, basically researchers can produce anything they can offer to industry. At the end of the day, industry doesn't want it. That means that it's not proven totally. Yes, scientifically it's proven, but it's not maybe economically proven. Now we are opening our doors to industry. They don't have to pay. They don't even have to pay the royalty. We can just mention the royalty could be paid after certain years, something like that. So they are opening themselves. The big challenges for the big industry is the IP, intellectual property. Usually, since it's an open, they have to share the IP and so on. Now that's something that we have to discuss more with the big industry. Small, medium enterprise doesn't have any problem. They're very open for us to support them. Okay, and secondly, they are in the university. Maybe colleagues from here university having a big equipment, research equipment in industry from university, usually from Indonesian side, is very hard because basically research equipment in university used for education. Less of them is based on research. For research, yeah, I mean advanced research. Yeah, usually for educations. When I was in Japan doing my PhD, for my undergrad, I cannot even touch a HPLC, for example. I just give a sample. But when I did in Japan, my professor, you have to do it until you're troubleshooting and everything, meaning that we are experienced, student experience handling directly equipment. This gives an advantage for the student. Now we're opening our campuses, we are opening our infrastructure for this also. For what we call MBKM, Mobility Merdeka Belajar, I mean independences of education. They can spend 6 months in lab in a research center. At the end of the 6 month, it's equivalent at 20 credits point for that university, for that student. It's a very good program under the Ministry of Education. So first, this is the open structure, infrastructures, right? This is, we can create, we can support small, medium enterprise for this area. The second program, this is what we call later on, the researchers mobility. This is the scheme on the national talent management. This is all the area fits in one page here. We start here, this is the pointer, at the yellow part, where we science engagement, which I mentioned the young talent. high school area, we do have a science competition. We do have an Olympiad competition. For what? For identifying, for scouting talent. Yeah. Last time we did many years ago, yeah, we just did that only as a competition event. We don't capture this champion. Now we are changing all. We capture this champion together with the Ministry of Education. I'm partnering with the director there. Let's do it together. You capture this student, this champion, and after they finish their high school, they can go to university students, and we have this program to support them. First, what program can we support? This is what we call the MBKM. Merdeka Belajar, meaning the independency. It's a 6 semester, 6 month, equivalent to 12 credit, can be obtained by the student who are doing research in a research center. I'm asking every university in Indonesia, you make sure that your curriculum support this program. Giving chances the student, if it's an independent way, they can choose whether they want to do it by course, doing it all by class, or they want to go outside the university. But when they choose to go outside university, 6 months doing research in a research group, when they come back after 6 months, they can get 20 credits. So they're doing it for their class actually, but they're doing it not in class. We have 9 programs here. BRIN are responsible for 2 programs, the MBKM for the research also. But this is again, we are basically, we are hoping or enforcing the university to change their curriculum to be in line with this program. So therefore, this is not only from BRIM's work, it has to be from the Ministry of Education. The second part, after they finish this kind of program, a 6 month, they usually they obtain this at their 3rd year. We're opening what we call the research final report project. The last 2 semesters, or even 1 semester for this student, they continue again to conduct their research in that specific research group. This student, because they are already, let's say, have a good chemistry from the previous program, the independence program that I mentioned before, they can continue again until they finish their undergraduate. After that, we can promote this student for the master until PhD degree by research program, which I can later on show you which area we're promoting. So we can, let's say, identify these students at the earliest beginning, giving this program, the MBKM, and then later on, if the students are still willing and they have a passion on the research, we give them a way to be a PhD, even in international or a national university. After that, after the PhD, actually, this is the challenge. What is after PhD? Currently, BRIN is opening what we program is a postdoctoral in BRIN. We BRIN now, we don't recruit under PhD. Now, this is very revolutionary also. No ministry other BRIN only recruits PhD. We don't recruit master anymore. Okay, I have a complaint also from a student. Sir, I want to be in BRIN researchers. Yes, you have to be a PhD. How can I do it? This is the way. You do part of a research group. You go for the master by research, degree by research. After you finish your PhD, then you can be part of BRIN as civil servant or even what we call P3K, contractual, right? We have 500 quota a year. I'm finding 200 is very difficult, honestly, very difficult. Because to be a PhD researcher, it's only not PhD, we have what we call a portfolio. We check them. Because basically, we're not only asking for them for the PhD, we are taking them for long terms. And this postdoctoral program is open for them, giving chances for the PhD, which graduate from the local university, or PhD from outside university in Indonesia. But this is the very interesting thing, that this is one new program that we are developing. Yeah, this maybe this year, by the end of this year. PhD from a local university, let's say, maybe they have, well, let's say, national network, maybe international network, maybe around 10% of them. We are targeting the PMDSU, meaning that we have this program, acceleration program from master to PhD, only 4 years. Okay, this around 1,000 students located in local university. Yeah, after they graduate their PhD in local university in Indonesia, we identify them to be as a postdoctoral postdoctoral outside Indonesia. Yeah, BRIN will cover their living allowances. Who's gonna host them is the Indonesian diaspora prominent, which I mentioned previously. Those professors around the world who are still Indonesian citizens, right? I'm asking them door to door. I have these 1,000 students. They are good. They are accelerated students, but they are lack of international experience of research. I'm asking this diaspora who are maybe 10, 20 years doesn't come back to Indonesia. Will you host them as a mentor? Indonesia will provide their scholarship for 1 or 2 years as a postdoctoral there. This makes that diaspora outside of Indonesia, okay, we're being capitalized in a good way. Our expertise is being acknowledged by the country. We are mentoring these future researchers. This is what we're doing now. Yet again, it's a challenge. It is a challenge because we have to coordinate together with the other ministry. Yeah. Now it's trying to happen. We can do it now because BRIN now under one government. And how can we support the industry? In this area, maybe not all of them researchers want to be a lecturer, right? Maybe only 10 to 20% is max. Some of them want to be what we call entrepreneur or technopreneur. In BRIN, we do have a program to facilitate this. Early, what we call company based on research. We give incentive for them. Let's say I want to build SME based on my expertise on one specific area. We give support to them. So we are targeting also for them not all being researchers or lecturers. It can be also a technopreneurs. This is the second research scheme that we have. And third, now this is the research third scheme, what we call the research and innovation facilitation. This is the funding of research. We are using the endowment fund. I think colleague from Justip with BRIN maybe familiar what we have, the research collaboration center. Yeah, it's a research center created by collaboration from local university, BRIN, or even international university to create one specific research center, yes, designated area, let's say some up to 1 to 7 years, and then recruit new members and do research in this area. These research and facilitations are open also basically for all Indonesian citizens or even international based on procedures and regulation. How can international citizens complete this program? They have to collaborate with a collaborator in Indonesia. We have program what we call Advanced Indonesian Research Grant, Sailing Days Grant. Indonesia is a maritime country. We provide what we call sailing days. We provide these sailing vessels, research vessel. They have these own pathways from island to island. So scientists could submit their proposal and follow this area. It's for free, actually. Why we can do this? Because we already integrated all the budget of research under BRIN. As I mentioned, if something happened with the research innovation in Indonesia, you can blame BRIN. Actually, roughly likely. It's a very high stake, but we have to do it. It's a very revolutionary. And this is the framework I mentioned on the research innovation talent. Identifying the talent pool, we have to expand every area, right? And we have several programs that are the MBKM, the research assistant, degree by research. It is to scout them Yeah, until the end, we have the excellent talent. I was challenged 2045 Indonesian should has a Nobel laureate. I said it is not impossible, right? But it is very challenging because not only human resources are there are research in ecosystem, research funding, long-term investment and commitment. Yeah, that was the challenge I got being asked tasked when we are being appointed as the national task force of talent management under the research innovation. And this is the stakeholder. Basically, we are working from four area of talent: the student, yeah, under lower and higher education, undergraduate and postgraduate, early mid-career, and prominent research talents. Right? Every of them has a very different approach. Those on the red box here, this is the stakeholder: BRIN, the Minister of Education, Research and Technology, Ministry of Religious Affairs. Why? Where is Ministry of Religious Affairs? Yes, in Indonesia, Ministry of Religious Affairs do have university. Now, this is very challenging also. They have also many universities. There's many universities have very good students there. So we have to combine them. Ministry of Foreign Affairs, identifying who are working abroad there. The LPDP, Ministry of Finance, dealing, making sure this endowment fund plays a prominent role. District government, we have many science competition, science school, summer school supported by district government. Many of state-owned enterprise, they are dealing with this incentive with the industry, Ministry of Labor and Law. Law and human rights related much more areas in dealing with how to accelerate the patent area, how the commercialized area. For the student, we have a program what we call science competition, the development of education curriculum that I mentioned, the scholarship for excellent student. But the Ministry of Educations and Research Talent usually focus more on the undergraduate. For the master or PhD, they ask the student to compete nationally or even international. So therefore, BRIN will pitch in there. So this is a very matrix works of several governments institutions. And for the student at the under and postgraduate level, we have this industry internship, yeah, the MBKM, research assistant, under a scholarship also, and later on I'll show you the student mobility exchange, ISMA. And for the early careers, this is where the researchers, lecturers here, we have this research mobility program incentive and award. Incentive award is very, very prominent, especially on the prominent research talent and for the mid-career. In Indonesia, currently we have the highest research award is the Habibie Award. If one researchers receiving around 25,000 US dollars award, we give them annually. We scout them annually. There are five areas of this award, yes, and we're combining with two more in nuclear sciences and space. Yeah, this is around. It is not comparable with the Nobel Prize, but we're trying to our best effort. It is all supported by the government. This is the key point. The government commitment. BRIN currently have quite a big, yeah, I won't say big, but we have a budget to support this kind of program. Why? Because go to the next. This is the early research talent. What we conduct every years with the Ministry of Education. Young student, this Linus Pradana, he was the finalist National of Young Innovation Award 2012. He was the sixth grade of elementary school. His innovation is a cooling system helmet. And after that, that innovation was being bought by the helmet company and he earned his royalty. But these students needs mentoring. Now we provide mentoring with also several examples. These two product. This is product. This is based from student, high school students. Yeah, maybe coming from the grassroots innovators. From last time we have in Indonesia the ASEAN Indian activities. We have student promoting and giving a competition they are being captured more, and we have a program for the student. And this is what we call the mobility for the student, the undergraduate, the ISMA, Indonesian International Student Award. Yeah, this is quite a new program under the Ministry of Nadim, Pak Nadim. Yeah, quite a big, 111,000 awardees, yeah, alumni, also for undergraduate and vocational studies. And this is, we need to expand it. Minister of Education focus maybe on this undergraduate. Then BRIN, together with the LPDP, pitch in this capacity and upgrade talent program. We have two programs basically. The first funding agency under the full scholarship program, the LPDP, we have currently now we've almost consumed around 9 billion US dollars to support this program, right? The LPDP have let's say 35,000 people awardees, right? And alumni around 18,000, yeah? And this is all full scholarship. Now, what area they are BRIN Indonesia are focusing now is this 4 area. The advanced biotechnology utilizations, deep sea maritime engineering, nuclear technology on accelerator, and satellite technology and avionics. This is the 4 area BRIN currently developing with the LPDP that we call the targeted scholarship. Student has to pass until PhD. So we are not getting only for master. We're asking this program up to PhD, and we are preparing their entry level. Why this 4 area is national needs, and we do have a support system after they finish. Now, my task is identifying the professor around the world who are leading in this 4 area. So I'm coming to them, asking them, are you willing to accept a qualified candidate from PhD from Indonesia? We will pay all the tuition fee and so on, but not only one student. We are grouping them. Let's say a year we're sending 2, 3, maybe 2, 1 or 2 students for 5-year program. Why? After 5 years, they finish, there'll be a group. This is what we learned when the last time we sent massive student as a single fighter. They are not group. Yeah, they're everywhere scattered. By the end of their PhD, they are confused. Who's my network? If they are not building it from the beginning, they won't come back to Indonesia because they will be afraid when I come back to Indonesia, I don't have a group which have similarity. Now, this is what we're going to build. Yeah, this area is now national policy. Yeah, and last time, this is what we call the degree by research program. Now, we know that all of them, usually in abroad, they are not doing it by course. For the PhD, doing it by research. We have a collaborators, thank you here in Thailand. We have with Suranara University of Technology in Thailand. We have also, maybe tomorrow, have a discussion with the Chulalongkorn University also planning. And in the Malaysia also, we have the UTM. Maybe next month, I'll be going there in my meeting together with UKM and UM. I will have a discussion opening a new program with them. And also, we are expanding this area for the degree by research. This is usually on the full scholarship, the topic research is being, let's say, being led by the professor from that host university, right? Yeah, meaning that the topic of research is not being constructed but by the student, but by Indonesian need, for example, from the sending country, because you are fully under that supervisor's guidance. But under this degree by research program, the research topic must be a collaboration between the professors and the co-supervisors from Indonesia, meaning that the research topic can be developed to solve the problem in Indonesia. So this is the one that we like to change the policy. Yes, we are sending out students outside, international, but for area that really we don't have any expertise. But area where we have expertise, we base them on collaborators, degree by research program. They're doing it, the research in Indonesia, but hosted in the university abroad. And for the researcher mobility program, here, I would like to show this last slide of mine. This is currently, we have a postdoctoral and visiting researcher program in BRIN. What is this two program? This is two program not for BRIN researcher going out, no. But we are inviting outside BRIN, international citizen or even national citizen, right? We will support what we call the ticket, and we will support the living allowances. Postdoctoral, they will receive around roughly 1,000 US dollars a month. They can go 1 up to 2 years in Indonesia, hosted by the research group in Indonesia. This is a must. Visiting researcher, professor, they will receive 1,000, around 1,800, and a non-professor for doctoral around 12 or 1,300 a month, meaning a living allowance. That's quite competitive in Indonesia. You can live okay for that. Yeah, we start this program last year's, right? Now we have around 183, 200 almost, yeah, with the visiting researcher and postdoctoral across these 12 area, archaeology, linguistic, and so on, until social science, nuclear science, space. Yeah, I'm focusing on the international citizens. On the right box here, this is the one who is ongoing. 11 international citizen, visiting researchers, and postdoctoral. Only from Malaysia in the ASEAN state member joined this program. Last time on the SCRT meeting, I opened this program for Asian member state country. By what program this research mobility can be adopted is by the research collaboration. For example, what just been doing with the Asian member state country, with the Indonesian researchers. That research activity plays as a platform for this researcher host the research, which are going to host this postdoctoral or visiting researcher, because they have to have a research a collaboration. They have a research activity, so therefore they can invite these visiting researchers and postdoctoral. This scheme, I am offering Horizon. I'm also offering JICA. I am also offering the MBF in Japan. In Germany. Let's say if you can give a quota, for example, GSPS 2 postdoctoral, I can provide 10 as an exchange, for example. Because we do have currently, this year we have around 10 million US dollars for this program. So I think it's quite, and these two boxes, now 40 international citizens among these countries are, let's say, planning to come during these years. Yeah, I'm now in this forum, I'm opening invitations, right, to Asian member state countries to utilize this program, because it's very based on research collaboration. Yeah, it has to be based on research collaborations, and the visiting researchers is up to 1 until 3 months. Postdoctoral 1 years until 2 years, depending on the program itself. I think that's. Thank you very much. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So many program. I think we need to see how we can collaborate on that. Also, Thailand has the postdoc program, which I will be talking to you.